Shalom, it's your brother Yeraki, and all praise to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Rachakwadash, who give me spirit to do this lesson. Shalom to the elect of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, whom the Lord will have mercy on in these latter days. Shalom to the men of the Lord, the prophets preaching and teaching, the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom, and I have another quick one here. This is an article that I came across. It says, "Where is the rest?" And what you have is Esau running basically a scam, capitalizing on the George Floyd murder. It says calls for transparency as Minnesota Freedom Fund raises millions but only spends 200K to bail out protesters. Oh boy. It says a Minnesota bailout fund that raised millions as protests gripped Minneapolis after the death of George Floyd. Whether it's only spent $200,000 to bail out protesters, and the social media wants to see the receipts for the rest, and rightfully so, because these people are collecting, millions and millions of dollars, and I find this funny because it's saying here they raised over 30 million. This guy's his is 35 million there. He says, I'm not here to pass judgment, just here to do the math. 200K out of 35 million is 0.57%. And he's right. And it's funny because, Jake is not giving $35 million. We don't have goddamn $35 million, So this is money basically Edomites have given, and it's Edomites who who have taken away this money. Now we'll see what they do with it, I guess. But you can see that these so-called white people, they're bad. They're angry. They're blasting them here on Twitter. And this person here says for some reason they removed this from their site. I wonder why. Now these are the two people that are in charge of this nonprofit or whatever that raised that money. Tanya Holmesy and Greg Lewin. And the one on the right, what family he belongs to. And this is Esau Edom just being a mess, just falling all over each other. This is Psalm 64, verse 5. It says, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Because they thought everybody in all of this protest nonsense wasn't going to catch it, that maybe we just wait a little bit while and nobody's going to ask for the rest of the money. Now, they might spend it on something else. Who knows? But $200,000 is not even 1% of the money that they raised, So what the hell are they going to do with the rest of that money, And the majority, and the thing is the majority of those protesters were so-called white people. So it's not even going to Jake, White people were out there cutting up, spray painting walls, throwing bricks, setting fires, And Jake was out there calling them out. So it says they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Verse 7, it says, and God shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And this is a beautiful thing that the Most High is doing. He's exposing these devils, These guys, there were some willing to be more patient with the MFF, which is that organization. However, one Twitter user pleaded for people to understand how hard it is to efficiently spend, manage, and account for that kind of money when you're clearly not set up to work on that scale. And that's bullshit, man. You can post an account, but where's the money, It's not hard to, print out an accounting ledger, when you have $35 million, hire a goddamn accountant, But you know, this is the devil we're talking about. Who am I kidding? You know. Last precept. This is Sirach 19. I'll start at 26. There is a wicked man that hangeth down his head sadly, but inwardly he is full of deceit. It says, casting down his countenance and making as if he heard not. Now, he's pretending to do this for a noble cause, from George Floyd protesters who got arrested doing the right thing, quote unquote, you know, protesting injustice and racial inequality, you know, all this bullshit rhetoric they spew. But here he is just taking in millions and millions of dollars. And they raised that money quite quickly, you know. George Floyd died right at the end of May, and by a couple of weeks ago, they had already had millions of dollars, you know. So within a couple of weeks, they raised, you know, basically over $30 million, you know. It says, but inwardly he's full of deceit, casting down his countenance, making as if he heard not. Where he is not known, he will do thee a mischief before thou be aware. Where he is not known, you know. And these guys, apparently they took down he says for some reason they removed this from their site. They took down their faces of who they are, you know, because ultimately, you know, they're up to no good, you know. They're suspect. They should be profiled, you know. Esau's the one that should be racially profiled, not Jake, you know. It says, and if for want of power, if he be hindered from sinning, yet when he findeth opportunity, he will do evil, you know. So this is exactly, again, what you're seeing. This is just another example of the wicked, you know, showing their true colors, you know, here in Babylon. But all will be right soon, brothers, you know. Yahweh Shai is on his way back. You know, you better stay in the faith, call Allah Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rachakwadash. And hopefully you brothers were edified. Shalom and Abba Babal.